Hi, this is the second video for the RSL Manager system from Required Systems. This video will take you through the process of setting up the manager for the first time, for creating a home, for adding staff users and adding service users. You've downloaded the software from the Required Systems website and run the install program. What you should then have is a shortcut on your desktop, and if we double click on that, it'll launch the program. And this is what we'll see as a first time user. If you've bought the Pro version, you have the choice of where you want to locate the database. If you've bought the standard version, it'll just be saved on your local machine. This is the Pro version, so I'm going to browse to where I want to put my database. I'm just going to put it in my documents, and I'll put it in a folder called Homes. And it's checking location to make sure that there isn't already a database there. We've now got the standard menu where we can start using the system. We can pull up the on-screen user guide, or we can watch the tutorial. The on-screen guide, if we click on here, just takes us through the main features of the software and reminding you how to use it. The video tutorial is what you're listening to just now. You can launch it from within the program to remind yourself how to use the program. I'm just going to click on Start Using the System. It's warning me that there are no homes in the system since this is the first time I'm using it, so the first step is to add a home. So I'm just going to put in a name. And it's called Eastview Home. I'll click on OK. It's just giving us a chance to confirm I've put in the right spelling of the home. And when it does that, it will start customizing all of the documents and all of the forms for Eastview Home. In order to do this, you must have Word on your computer. Any version of Word from Word 97 onwards, that's Word XP, 2000, 2003, 2007 or Office 2010 will work. Make sure you don't have any Word documents open when you're doing this, or it'll slow down the process. I'm just going to click OK and let it set off customizing the documents. You get a list of the documents that are being updated to show the progress. This can take considerable length of time as there's a large number of documents and forms to be customized. The process runs through all the documents first, and after it's finished them it runs through all the forms, putting the name of the home into the header of all the documents. So I'm just going to let this run and we'll come back when it's finished. Okay, so that's it finished, putting the name of the home in the headers of all of the documents and all of the forms. As I said, it can take quite a while, so just be patient. Clicking on OK here takes us into the main screen where we can add staff and add service users. You'll notice that Eastview Home is up here, as that's the only home we have at the moment. We could add another home by clicking on here and putting in the name of the next home. And the second home I'm putting in is called the Royal Gardens Home. Say OK to that, you confirm it, and again you go through the process of renaming the documents. I'll just set that running again. Remember, in the standard version of this software you can only have one home. In the Pro version you can have as many homes as you want. OK, that's the documents created for the second home, the Royal Gardens Home. I'll just click OK here. So I now have two homes in the system. The way this works is we have a set of master documents, and these master documents are customized each time you create a new home. The name of the home is put into the header of each of the documents. You can still access the master documents if you want to look at them, but do not edit these master documents. Clicking on the Documents button for Eastview Home brings up the list of all the documents which have been customized for that home. Here are the 28 outcomes, and if we click on any of these we see the corresponding procedures and any associated forms or documents with that procedure. Any of these we click on will launch into Word, and you'll notice that the name of the home appears in the header of each of these documents. Let's see now how we add a staff member to a home. I'm going to select Eastview Home, and I'm going to add a new member of staff. This window allows us to put in their name, their surname, unknown as, their gender and their title. So I'm just going to add the first person in here, who is Mrs. Anne Wilson. She's just known as Anne, so I'll just put that in there. She's female, got that, and we'll put a photograph of Anne in. Now I've got my photograph stored in a folder here, and there she's there, and the photograph is put in. Make sure when you're adding photographs they've all got a unique name. Say OK to that, and that's Anne added in as a member of staff. If I want to add a service user, it's exactly the same process. Add a new one. We'll put Mr. William McLean, and he likes to be known as Willie. He's male, a photograph of him, and I have got a folder of service users in here, and there's Willie's picture there. Add that. If we add a new member of staff and we don't have a photograph, it'll just put a generic outline. You can of course edit the information for either the staff or service users. All you do is select the person you want to edit, click on the edit button, and you then get the form up again. You can change the photograph, you can change the names and other details in here. When you've done that, click OK. Each time you create a staff or service user, a set of documents are created in their folder on the system. So if I now go to staff forms, you'll see here that we've got Anne Wilson's name and picture up here, and these are the set of forms for Anne Wilson. If I click on key facts, I can put in here the key facts with all the crucial information we need able to be pulled up very quickly. Same thing for service users. Here's the service user here, and these are the documents for the service user. If you load one of these documents and click Save, it replaces the existing document. So therefore next time you come back to that user, that will be the document you see. Up at the top here, you can actually see the details of where the file is stored. There's a folder called the Eastview Home, and we're looking at Mr. William McLean's documents in there. We'll just finish off by having a look at the structure of how the information is stored on your computer. Go to My Documents and go into the folder called Homes. You'll notice in here I've got a folder for the Eastview Home, a folder for the Royal Gardens Home, and these two folders here contain the master documents, the forms and procedures. This is a database. It's very important that you don't change any of these. If we go into Eastview Home, you'll see in here that there are two folders, one for service users, which contains a folder for Mr. William McLean, and one for the staff users, which contains at the moment Mrs. Anne Wilson. And if we open that up, we'll see in there the set of all the forms that are used for that staff user. You really shouldn't edit them directly in here, you should always edit them from within the program. This final section is only relevant to those who have bought the RSL Manager Pro version. I'm going to show you how to set up multi-users where the database is stored on a network share. You've already installed the software and you've created a database somewhere on a network share. We're now in the computer of a second user. They've installed the software and they double click on the icon to launch it. It says they're the first time user, but this time we want to browse to where the database has previously been stored. I click on Browse, and on my computer I've got a map drive M, and in here I've got a folder called Homes, and that's where I've placed the database and all the information for the homes I've created. I click OK to that. It will check to make sure the database is present in that location, and it will now confirm I'm using the database stored on my M drive of my network in the folder called Homes. And there we are. As a multi-user version I can start using the program, and I've got two homes in this one called Cameron, one called New Lodge. I click on Cameron and select that, manage the home, and there we have all the details for that particular home. So that's how you'd set up a multi-user version of the RSL Manager Pro. I hope you found this tutorial useful. Thanks for listening.